Good afternoon. I'm Mayor Newton. We had a successful first week after Governor Abbott issued his last set of executive orders for Texas, and I issued Proclamation Number 2 for Collierville to open additional businesses and churches. This last week, I observed residents abiding by physical distancing and being patient with one another as we adjust to our new safety guidelines. I appreciate your cooperation with this. I want to say a word about our businesses. I frequently talk about how we have the best citizens in the state. I also believe we have the best businesses. Collierville has many small, locally owned and operated businesses that have been financially hurting for months. Collierville businesses have worked hard and been creative in adjusting their practices during this time. They have taken the safety guidelines seriously and have provided a safe and welcoming environment for their customers. These guidelines have caused them to rethink their operations, make quick adjustments, provide additional training for their employees, and expend money to ensure the public's safety. I sincerely appreciate all of their efforts, and I thank them for their investment in our community. Let's continue to show them our support by shopping local. Yesterday, I issued Proclamation Number 3 in alignment with Governor Abbott, which further opens businesses within Collierville. Right now, restaurant outdoor patios have no occupancy limitations, while indoor dining remains at a 25% occupancy limit. Also, cosmetology salons, barbers, nail salons, and tanning salons are now free to open using the guidelines we previously defined. And wedding and funeral ceremonies can be held in houses of worship using the same distancing guidelines as church services would use. Wedding receptions held in non-church venues are limited to 25% indoor facility capacity, but the limits do not apply to outdoor weddings or funeral receptions. Effective May 18th, gyms and exercise facilities can open at 25% occupancy. These additional openings affirm our action several weeks ago to open businesses in Collierville. I've been told we were the first city in Texas to reopen businesses. That decision was not about being first. The initial decision to open was based on available data at the time, my faith in Collierville residents, and the overall context of what was best for Collierville citizens. Please see the fact sheet on Collierville's website, collierville.com, that explains these new actions in detail and the guidelines contained in the governor's report to open Texas. It goes without saying, safety measures and physical distancing should be followed in all of these venues. One additional reminder, the highest risk group are people over 65 years of age. I encourage those of you that are over 65 to be especially vigilant, and I encourage everyone else to be especially careful around them. In terms of coronavirus cases, we continue to see data trend positively for Collierville, Tarrant County, and Texas. Collierville has had only 9 active cases with 11 recovered. That is 0.03% of the population. And thankfully, we have had no deaths. In Tarrant County, there are 2,159 active cases, or 0.1% of the population. Hospital available capacity remains high at 40%, far above the 15% lower limit established by Governor Abbott. And only 4% of Tarrant County hospital beds are being utilized by COVID patients. In addition, 68% of Tarrant County ventilators are available. We continuously monitor this data as we make decisions on further reopening Collierville. Governor Abbott's executive order expires on May the 19th, at which point he will issue a new one. I fully anticipate further openings and increases in capacity for operating businesses. At that time, we will examine the new order, interpret its meaning, and make necessary adjustments, one way or the other, in the best interest of Collierville. Our city has shown tremendous community spirit over the last 2 months. I've heard many heartwarming stories about neighbors helping neighbors and people spreading joy during a difficult time. I want to share a couple of these with you. Serena Smith and her children spent hours one morning marking the trail behind the senior center with a fun activity walk that all children would enjoy. A Facebook group was created for the sole purpose of providing assistance for those in need. I've heard of residents providing meals and cleaning supplies to our senior citizens who cannot leave their home. And we have had many residents provide meals and PPE for our first responders. These are wonderful examples of helping one another and encouraging the community. I want to close this week's video by thanking all of you for your support, care for one another, and diligence in following physical distancing guidelines. I continue to be impressed by our Collierville community and believe we are a model for others to follow. Stay safe, enjoy visiting our businesses, and stay tuned for additional openings soon.